What's good, fellas? We got UFC 306 this Saturday. I'm about to go over my full card picks. I've done an absolutely unhealthy amount of film and research and stats trying to get these picks right, man. As you know, there's some really close fights on this card. I mean, I think there's 4 or 5 fights that are, pick'ems pretty much. So it's been tough. I mean, I've been looking a lot and I've been trying to formulate some good predictions, but I think I've got it down. And I did well last weekend. I went 9 for 10 on the Burns versus Brady card. I will not be going over the Norma Dumont Irene Aldana fight. I just didn't have time to get to it. I wanted to get these out there, and let's get right into it. First up, we got Raul Rosas Jr. taking on Aoriqileng. Look, Aoriqileng is a better striker to me. I feel like that's a known thing. Aoriqileng has some power. I mean, this guy, when you look at like his resume, he doesn't have a ton of knockouts, but he like wobbles a lot of guys and hurts a lot of guys. I think he does have some, extreme power, and I do think he is the technical better striker here. He's also extremely durable. So if Rosas tries to stand with him, I think he's going to find out it's not going to go well because Aoriqileng is a better stand-up fighter, and he is better durability, and he's not going to be able – Rosas won't be able to knock him out, in my opinion. Maybe a TKO on the ground, but I don't see that. I think Rosas, he's a great grappler, great pressure. He's got a great RNC choke, very good pace, great chain wrestling. So he's got a clear edge on the ground to me. Aoriqileng is like a 56% takedown defense. It's not great, but I think he's a little bit better than that on the ground. A lot of those fights were at flyweight. He's only been in 3 submission attempts in his whole career in the UFC, never been submitted in the UFC. With that being said, do I think he's faced the best grapplers or a grappler as, capable as Raul Rosas? I don't. With that being said, I'm going to give, I think Raul Rosas is going to get this one done. I do. To me, when I look at Rosas, I think he's a great wrestler and a great jiu-jitsu. But what stands out to me, especially in this matchup, I think the chain wrestling is going to be huge for Rosas. I think that's what's going to set him apart from Aoriqileng, because on the initial takedown, I think Aoriqileng is going to be able to stuff him. Yeah, I think Aoriqileng has some good takedown defense. His hips are pretty quick, but to me, that chain wrestling, it'll be able to get to Aoriqileng. Aoriqileng, to me, like I said, man, I don't think he's capable in the chain wrestling department. That's where Raul's very good. He's very good at getting on your back. He's very good at getting you in bad positions. The gas tank is a bit of a problem, but Raul, to me, is in good shape. I think he gets this one done via first-round RNC choke. He extends one of his takedowns, gets him on the fence, takes his back and chokes him out. Aoriqileng is not the type of guy to tap, so we'll be seeing Aoriqileng sleeping in the octagon. Next up, we got Joshua Van taking on Edgar Chairez. Joshua Van, short notice here. Edgar Chairez, when I look at Edgar, man, he's a interesting fighter nonetheless. I mean, he's a guy who's got some very, very good submission skills. But he's not really a wrestler. He doesn't really wrestle. He doesn't, attempt takedowns from what I've seen. I have seen him attempt takedowns, but when you're going up against a guy like Joshua Van, with his kind of takedown defense, I don't think it'll be a big problem for Van. He's got great takedown defense. When it comes to the feet, look, Edgar Chairez, he is powerful. He's dangerous. He hits pretty fucking hard. He was able to hurt Tatsuro Taira in their fight. And yeah, he does hit hard. He's not very technical, not the best technique. Doesn't really set his shots up. He will blitz in. He's got a massive reach and a massive height advantage. Not massive, but a big height and reach advantage. But I don't think his cardio is great. I actually went back and watched him fight Jesus Aguilar, who is in the UFC right now. And he was huffing and puffing. We haven't seen him go outside of the first round, I don't believe, in the UFC yet. And especially with Josh Van's pressure in the body shots, I think he's going to be able to break Edgar Chairez here. What I don't like about Van, obviously, look, he just got knocked out 2 months ago. It wasn't a crazy out cold knockout. I thought it was actually a little bit premature, but it wasn't a bad, stoppage. It wasn't, Van out cold or it was a bad beating. He was winning the fight versus Charles Johnson, in my opinion. But it was a good fight, and, he came out on the other end. But he looked good in that fight. I think that pressure is going to be huge. Now, I don't like about Van, I don't like the early, where he's not throwing a lot of volume. The first round where he's kind of stationary and, gets his reads. But when he picks it up, those 2 and 3 rounds are going to be huge for him. Edgar Chairez, to me, doesn't throw a lot of volume in the first place. So I think, he might be able to out-volume Van in the first round. But towards the second and third, man, I see no chance for Edgar to, really outstrike Van unless he hurts Van in the first round. That's the only way I can see Edgar winning this fight and knocking him out in the first round. I don't think that's the case here. Van is very durable. He just got caught by Charles Johnson. And like I said, a little bit of a premature stoppage, so I'm not too worried about it. I think Joshua Van is going to get this one done via decision. And, let's move on. Next up, we got, Yazmin Jaeuregui taking on Ketlen Souza. I watched both of these fighters. To me, it's very clear that Yazmin is the better fighter. She's at like minus 500 to win this fight. I can see it. She's a lot better, more balanced. Ketlen Souza, to me, isn't great, not very technical. Yazmin is more technical to me. I think she scratches an easy decision out here. And, pretty much. Let's move on. Next up, we got Manuel Torres taking on Ignacio Bahamondes. Banger fight here. You know what I wish it would have been is Manuel Torres versus Esteban Ribovics, and we would have seen Ignacio versus Zellhuber. I don't know why they didn't do that, but it is what it is. Because if you're asking me, that's a 10 times better matchup, if we're being real here. But anyways, when I look at this matchup, we've seen the line completely flip. Completely. Absolutely. It's gone from Ignacio, I believe he was around minus 140, to Manuel Torres now being the favorite. Look, when I look at Manuel Torres, sorry, I'm getting to my notes here. He's a good fighter. Don't get me wrong. Oh shit, what the hell? What the fuck? Okay, sorry about that. That's why. Okay, Manuel Torres versus Ignacio Bahamondes. Look, Manuel Torres is good. He's got 3 first-round finishes. But in all those fights, he's had to go through adversity. I believe Chris Duncan cracked him. Nicholas Mata was cracking him. He's aggressive. He's powerful. He's got a slick submission game. He's not a type of guy to shoot takedowns. To me, this fight will take place on the feet. I think Ignacio, to be honest, might hold the wrestling advantage. But the jiu-jitsu will go to Manuel Torres, in my opinion. But I think this fight will take place on the feet. Manuel is aggressive, pretty fast, good boxing. He's got a long reach. He is at a height disadvantage. I think the reach is the same. Man, for me, when I looked at Manuel, and the tallest guy he's fought is Chris Duncan. Chris Duncan was having a lot of success with the counter-striking because Manuel doesn't have great defense. He rocked Manuel pretty bad, and I mean, we're talking about Chris Duncan here, man. Chris Duncan, to me, is not great at all. I don't think Chris Duncan is good. I think Ignacio Bahamondes would fucking floor Chris Duncan easily or not even get touched by him. But no, he did finish Chris Duncan in the first, but he had to go through some adversity. To me, Ignacio, I like Ignacio, man. I do. I think he's going to win this fight. Look, we haven't seen Manuel go past the first round. The questions on the gas tank are there. And it's not one of these fucking old heads that he's fighting. He's fighting a guy in Ignacio Bahamondes who has proven himself and fought way better competition and is durable. That's one note I really have. Ignacio's very durable. He does a fantastic job of keeping his chin tucked, especially for a taller guy. His guard is high. I think he's going to win this fight. I just haven't seen enough from Manuel Torres. I don't know how his gas tank is. I don't think he's as technical of a striker. I like Ignacio. I think Ignacio's jab is good. His knees straight up the middle are great. So if Manuel Torres tries to go down to the body, Ignacio's going to fucking knee him in the fucking jaw and put him out cold. But his kicks of Ignacio are great. I said, man, I like him. My issues with Ignacio, he does get hit a lot. Through that guard or not, he still gets hit a good amount. So his distance management isn't the best. But he does have some good counter-striking. And I'm saying, man, this is why I'm picking him, his durability, his ability to take a shot. If Manuel Torres comes out there and knocks him out cold in the first round, I'll be shocked. I mean, look, Manuel does have that kind of power. I think Manuel is, I think he's going to be able to hit Ignacio. I think he might hurt him. I don't think he'll drop him. I don't think he'll finish him. And I don't know how Manuel looks after the first. And I know Ignacio has a good gas tank. I know he's technical. And I think he's going to pick him apart. and land some good counter strikes and hurt Manuel too. This is going to be a crazy banger fight for surely. But yeah, I'm going to go with Ignacio here, man. I like Ignacio to get this one done. He's better to me with the technical ability. He's got better cardio. He's proven himself a lot more. I mean, bro, Nicholas Mata, Chris Duncan, I can't even remember the other dude's name. Ignacio's beaten guys, Christos Siagos, Ludovic Klein beat him. He struggled with Klein's speed. I do think Torres is fast, but he's not as fast as Ludovic Klein. Come on now. He's beaten Trey Ogden, who is a veteran. Ogden is pretty good. He's a good fighter. But I like Ignacio to get this one done via, I'm going to go with a decision to be safe, but I think we're going to see a lot of moments from both guys in this fight. A banger of a fight. All right, next up. Y'all already saw this. We got Osbourne taking on Ronaldo Rodriguez. I have a good read on this fight. Look, Ronaldo, to me, he's only a minus 130 favorite. I think he's a lot better than Osbourne in some spots. To me, Ronaldo starts out very slow. He does start out slow. He's almost like Joshua Van in the sense that he's going to be on the pressure and, eat shots. I don't think he's as slick as a boxer as Joshua Van. But I do think Ronaldo is very durable. He is very durable. He's going to be at a disadvantage on speed. Osbourne is fast as fuck. And I can see why this fight could be close. is very fast. He's a good striker. He's a good scrambler when it comes to wrestling. I don't think Ronaldo Rodriguez is a crazy wrestler. He did get a submission last time out, but I don't really think he's that good of a wrestler. Dennis Bondar was able to take him down a couple of times. I think Ronaldo's gonna have to eat some shots in the first. I do. And Ode's gas tank to me isn't great. I've seen him fight. Who was it? It was Charles Johnson. He was fucking gassed against Charles Johnson in that third round. And when you have a guy like Ronaldo Rodriguez coming forward, if he does, I hope he comes forward the whole fight because it'll be huge for him. I've seen him do it a lot. He's got a great gas tank. He's got great body shots. That's what I'm seeing here is the body shots will add up and make, Ode more tired. I think if he can mix in the wrestling, or takedowns, it can make Ode more tired as well. I think we're going to see a late finish from Ronaldo Rodriguez. I do think we'll see a late finish. I'm talking around 3. I might sprinkle some money on that. Club and sub is in play. KO is in play. I think those body shots add up, and I think Ode falls. That's what I think for this fight. I'm liking Ronaldo Rodriguez to win this one. I do think, like I said, he will drop the first round. We could see a decision. We could see, but I do think he will for sure lose the first round. I think Ode's too fast. But that speed runs out towards the end of the fight. I've seen it before. I'll see it again when Ronaldo Rodriguez gets the win. And, let's move on. Next up, Esteban Ribovics taking on Daniel Zellhuber. I'm going to be blatantly honest. I'm not huge on Zellhuber at all. I think if we're talking, I think Ignacio Bahamondes is better than, Daniel Zellhuber. I'm not huge on Zellhuber. With that being said, him and Ignacio, similar fight styles. Zellhuber is good. I do think he is good. He's got a great jab. My issues with Daniel Zellhuber is his defense. It's simple as that. I mean, guys, fuck me. I believe, what's his name was able to crack him. Lucas Almeida in their Contender Series fight, and I know this is a while ago, was able to crack him hard, man. Who else was it? Christos Siagos was able to crack him hard. And look, man, when it comes to, if Daniel Zellhuber went in there and tried to wrestle Esteban Ribovics, I think he'd have a great success. I think he'd win this fight pretty easily, to be honest. I don't think Esteban is great on the ground. And I think Zellhuber is much better. Yeah, I think Zellhuber has a great cardio. He's got great output, great jab. He does have pretty good defense when it comes to the, keeping his hands up. But he moves back in a straight line, similar to the Urseg and Kai Kara France, where Urseg was moving back in a straight line. I'm not picking him to win this fight. I'm picking Esteban Ribovics. Let me tell you why. If it were down to one thing, I wouldn't pick Esteban. This is the one thing and the one reason I'm picking Esteban Ribovics that I've seen from him. Esteban Ribovics' ability to extend his combos is incredible, and that's what he's going to need to use here. It's something great that he does, and it's going to be really important in this fight. If he can, blitz in the pocket and extend the combos, I think he's going to have a good, very good success. Esteban Ribovics is a guy who has heavy hands and great combinations. He's a brawler, a boxer, and I think this matchup, if it weren't due to Esteban being able to extend his combos, would very much favor Zellhuber. But that's what you got to do versus Zellhuber, is pressure him and extend those combos. And I think Esteban Ribovics does that at such a high level that I think he's going to find the chin of Daniel Zellhuber and hurt him bad. Like I said, I've seen Lucas Almeida hurt Daniel Zellhuber. I've seen other guys, Christos Siagos hurt Daniel Zellhuber. Christos Siagos, man. But yeah, I like this pick, man. I like Esteban Ribovics to get this one done. He does have good cardio. I think this is going to be a tough fight, but I think those blitzes are going to work. I mean, especially in the first round, I think Zellhuber kind of drops the first round sometimes. I'm not big on him at all, to be honest. I don't like the defense. I don't think his combination or boxing in the pocket is great. He doesn't really find himself there a lot. But if Esteban can try to back him up and find some good shots, I think he'll be able to land. Esteban, he lands, 2.7 strikes per minute more than Daniel Zellhuber. And, granted, they've been on smaller guys, but, Esteban's willing to take a shot. And that's huge here. He's going to have to take some shots. But when he lands hard. I'm liking Esteban Ribovics. I think he's going to KO Daniel Zellhuber. It's a bit of a hot take, but I like that. Next up, we got a rematch. We got Brian Ortega. Let me see if I can find this. Okay. Taking on Diego Lopes. So originally, when this fight was booked, it was short notice for UFC 302, I think. 302? Or 3, one of those. But it was short notice for Brian Ortega and, Diego Lopes. And that's when I leaned Brian Ortega. I thought the cardio of Lopes wouldn't be there. I've always talked about the cardio of Lopes, and it's not good. Especially when people didn't even realize it, especially in the Movsar fight. I talked about what happens when this guy gets past that first and second. He gets gassed. He does get gassed. Now, this fight is not on short notice, okay? Now, I think I'm going to pick Lopes here. Like I said, I was originally on T-City to get this one done, my boy. I'm a very big fan of Brian Ortega, but I'm not picking him to win this fight, man. I think he's just going to, Lopes is going to have the bigger moments here. I think he might be able to hurt Ortega. Ortega's defense isn't great. He is durable, good ability to recover. And like I said, I'm not a believer in Diego Lopes's gas tank. But I just think he's better here. I think he's more athletic, more explosive, a lot more powerful. He has some good combinations. I think, when it comes to technical boxing, I think Brian Ortega's probably better, but he doesn't crack hard at all. On the ground, I would say they're pretty even. But one stat that I found pretty interesting was submission attempts per trip to the ground. So Diego Lopes is throwing up a submission every time he hits the ground. Every single time he has hit the ground in the UFC, he's thrown up a submission. So this guy is very dangerous and aggressive on the ground. Now look, I could see a world where Ortega gets him down and Lopes tries to submit him really fast and he burns himself out. I could definitely see that, and Ortega comes out there and it looks fresher and outboxes him and outvolumes him. I could see that. And I did originally think that Ortega would outvolume Lopes, but I don't think that's the threat. I don't think that's going to happen. I just think Lopes is better here, man. I hate to say it, but I'm picking Lopes to win this fight. I don't know if he'll get him out of there. I think it'll be a decision, though. I think we're going to see some bigger moments, and, at this point, Ortega's taking a lot of damage. He gets cut up all the time. I like Lopes to win this fight via a decision. All right, next up, the co-main event, Valentina Shevchenko taking on Alexa Grasso. So look, we're on a rematch number 3 here, or rematch number 2 here. Valentina clearly won the last fight. Very, very controversial, but it was Mexican Noche again, so maybe she just got the fucking decision because of that. But look, I'm picking Valentina to win this shit, man. I don't give a fuck. Valentina's not going to lose again, bro. She has this, like, she's, like, on the outside is nice, but you know she's pissed as fuck, bro. She's not letting Grasso beat her again. Ain't no way. I'm going Valentina, and I do think Valentina is, she is faster here. She's got better kicking game. Great distance management. Her wrestling entries are beautiful. She was able to get Grasso down a lot. Grasso has great jiu-jitsu. She has good boxing, powerful hands. I think her boxing, people be upset, but I think it's a little bit overrated, man. It's not that good. Her hands aren't that quick. She is pretty powerful, though. I will give her that, but, bro, she's overrated to me. I think Valentina's going to smoke her. I do. I don't know if she'll get the finish, but I do think Valentina's going to come in here and win a 49-46 decision pretty easily, and that might be a hot take because people, Valentina is the underdog here, but what I've seen, last fight, I thought she looked great. I mean, if she didn't get dropped by Grasso in the second, it would have been a 49-46, you know what I mean? So, also, that fight was at elevation, so Valentina was a little bit tired. It's not at elevation this time. Valentina's going to get this one done easily. And, yeah, next up, the main event. Let me get my notes pulled up here, guys. Hold up. Because, obviously, I did write a ton about both these guys. Fuck it. I don't need it. Look, I have some issues with Merab right now. He's been, to me, acting really fucking weird. Walking out on interviews. Just being weird, man. I don't know. People are talking about how he might have staph, and that would kill his whole game plan. I agree. It's a very close fight. I've talked about it before. With that being said, I want to see how Merab weighs in, or even if the fight happens, I want to see him weigh in before I give my official prediction. But I'm still going to give you what I think right now, and I'm going to stick with my pick Merab. I'd like to say on Twitter I'm going to post who I think is going to win when I see the weigh-ins, because I don't know how Merab is. I don't know if he's healthy or not, if that's staph or if it's not. But I'm going to pick Merab. And yes, I know he's the underdog now, I believe. So that's fucking 4 underdogs I've picked, or five actually. So yeah, I'm going with Merab, man. I just think I've already talked about it before. I think he's the better grappler by far. I know O'Malley's hard to get to, and this is the one thing I've been thinking about is when Merab wraps O'Malley up, how easy will O'Malley be able to get out? Merab obviously has a very tight grip. So if he gets him in the clinch, he gets those hands wrapped, how easily is O'Malley going to be able to get away from him, right? Yes, O'Malley can land a counter strike. He's great at that. But I love the way that Merab bounces off his feet. He's very versatile. He's very fast. And look, this guy's cardio is inhumane, man. I'm picking him to win this fight via decision. I think he's gonna break O'Malley. Ultimately it comes to a thing of chances, right? I'm gonna take the higher chance in a guy who, to me, has proven his dominance with his grappling, and I've seen the other guy fade. I've seen O'Malley fade versus Vera. I've seen it. So I'm going to pick Merab to win this fight. So yeah, I will catch y'all boys in the next one, and I appreciate y'all.